Would you like some fries with that burger? How many times have you heard that? If you've ever been to McDonald's, I'm sure you've heard it. How would you like to build a managed services business the size of Mindshift or All Covered? How about just a highly profitable business with minimal drama, no service issues, less customer churn, and more profit? Today, we're going to look at 3 things you can learn from McDonald's to grow and scale your IT services business.
Welcome to the IT Provider Network. Are you a managed service entrepreneur wanting to take your business to the next level? Do you excel in IT but feel your business management could be better? Join Terry Rossi, where every episode he shares the skills, tips, and tricks that helped him to build a successful worldwide business.
Over the weekend, I was watching a new movie called The Founder. It's the story of the McDonald brothers and Ray Kroc, the milkshake salesman who turned a little burger shack in San Bernardino, California, into a 36,000 location mega business. McDonald's success is tied to a couple key principles that we can take into our IT services business, and today I want to talk about how you can use them and improve your business with some lessons from the McDonald brothers. Now, you'll notice I'm actually referring to the McDonald brothers because they were the initial genius behind McDonald's. They had a few things that really set them apart from everyone else. The first was they came up with a fast food delivery system. They called it the Speedy system. And in that system, every move was orchestrated so that there was no wasted energy. They also decided early on that they were selling a lot of products that they didn't sell a lot of, and a few products that they sold a ton of. So they realized by scaling back their menu and offering only the most profitable things, they were going to make more profit. And then the third thing they realized was they needed consistency. They wanted everything to be the same for every diner. So how can we take that into our business? Let's look at consistency. McDonald's has a straightforward goal: to give its customers a similar dining experience anywhere in the world and to maintain high levels of standard and quality. One of McDonald's goals is pretty simple and straightforward: to give its customers a similar dining experience anywhere in the world and to maintain high standards of service and quality. They need to provide fast, accurate, and friendly service. When you walk into a McDonald's and order a quarter pounder, you can be pretty sure it'll be delivered in 30 seconds or less, and it'll taste exactly the same as the last one you had. I believe our clients want the same thing: speedy service and consistent experiences. So here's a couple ways you can achieve McDonald-like results in your business. Your client's experience starts with your sales department. Make sure you're overseeing your sales team and that you're presenting your company in a consistent manner. This includes your branding, your quoting, your correspondence. As an owner, you need to really reel in your team and make sure that your sales playbook is being followed. In my own company, I've seen a few rogue salespeople attempt to skirt our systems, and then they sell in a manner that doesn't fit our corporate standards. It never turns out good for them. This can be disastrous for your company's reputation and cost you revenue, or worse, cause you to lose a client. You need to set a goal to have a sales playbook that lays out exactly how your sales team should be interacting with your prospects and customers. A new member of your sales team should be able to get ramped up and know exactly how you expect them to interact as a representative of your company. If you're not doing this, you run the risk of them portraying your company in a way that you don't want to be portrayed. You also need to look at your tools and how they're configured to provide a consistent experience for your customers. Some things you should check are your PSA. Whether you use ConnectWise Manage, AutoTask, TigerPar, or any other one, you should be using communication templates to constantly communicate in the same manner with your customer. Things like new tickets, order confirmation, service surveys, invoicing, and collections are all great places that you can use standardized communications. These little stock messages help your clients know that you've acknowledged their request and that your company is working on their issue. Think about how many times you sent someone a message and got no response. The immediate impression is that it's entered some kind of black hole and you'll never hear back from them. You don't want to do that to your customers. You don't like when people do it to you, so why would they like it? The second thing you need to look at is your emails and your email signatures. Your entire team should be using your corporate domain name for sending and receiving emails, but they also should be using a consistent email signature. The email signature is a great way to extend your branding and notify your customers and prospects of any upcoming events or special announcements. If you need help with email signatures, there's plenty of resources on the web, and HubSpot has a free email signature creator. I put the link to that tool in the show notes at the itprovidernetwork.com/6. Your service team also has the same opportunities for consistent service communication with your customers via email and the PSA, but they also have the ability to use the phone in a consistent manner. I believe you should instruct your team to deliver phone service that fits your corporate standards as well. Some things you want to think about: answering the phone. Have a consistent message when your team members answer the phone and make everyone stick to it. When I overhear members of my service team answering the phone in a haphazard way, it goes right through me. It should be a consistent way to answer the phone. Hello, this is Joe from IT Provider Network. How can I help you? Or whatever your message is, just make sure it's the same. They should also ask the customer if it's a new or existing issue. While this is not exactly consistent communication, it does set a precedence, and it gets your customers in a rhythm that they're thinking about having a ticket number ready when they call. Even if the customer says it's a new issue, your team member should also be looking for existing problems that fit the bill, maybe logged by another customer or logged by another end user at the customer. The third thing I would think about on the phone is ending the call. And this is one place where my particular team takes a pointer not from McDonald's, but from one of their competitors, Chick-fil-A. One of my pet peeves, my all-time pet peeves, is the phrase "no problem." When I hear that from any service worker, it makes my blood boil. Thank you very much. Oh, no problem. Well, of course it's no problem. You're being paid for it to be no problem. Chick-fil-A's founder heard the phrase "my pleasure" when he was checking into a Ritz-Carlton hotel years ago, and he decided to incorporate that into his fast food establishment, treating every customer as if they were making a luxury purchase. I believe that every user that calls into our establishments should be treated as if they've made a luxury purchase, because if you're doing it right, they have. In Michael Hess's blog post, The 6 Best Words in Customer Service, he outlines a huge difference between the phrase "let me see what I can do" and "I'd be delighted to help you." Customers like to hear the word "I" instead of "we" or "us." They want to know that a real human is working on their problem. Things like "I can solve your problem" or "I don't know, but I'll find out" ensure your customer that you're working on their issue. Also, never forget to say you're sorry or thank your clients for their business. Sometimes we can become a lot like the electric bill, and clients look at our bill and think of ways to cut costs. We need to be continually reminding our clients of our value, and we need to thank them for their business and apologize to them when we haven't done our best. It happens to all of us, so what we need to do is just own up to it and sincerely apologize, and this can be from anyone on your team. So speedy service, consistent food delivery was one of the hallmarks of McDonald's success, and I believe it can be one of yours too, but it wasn't the only one. Upselling and cross-selling were also a big part of their success. So what is upselling and cross-selling? Upselling is when an existing customer who has previously purchased or is in the process of purchasing something from us is offered an upgraded version of their sale. Upselling also includes suggesting an additional feature that may relate to the purchased product. At McDonald's, this would be the simple question, "Would you like to supersize your order?" Cross-selling is selling additional products that benefit your buyer, using suggestions, incentives, or product placement. Referring to McDonald's again, this would be, "Would you like fries with that?" That's cross-selling. It's an incentive to buy an additional product. So how does that apply to our businesses? We're presented with many opportunities for upselling and cross-selling. Upselling. One of the most common upselling opportunities I see every day is with everyday laptop and desktop sales. I hear MSPs complain all the time about the lack of profit in desktop and laptop sales, and I'm here to tell you, if you're not making profit, you're doing it wrong. Desktop and laptop sales are great opportunities for upselling. If you're quoting a minimal desktop to a client, add an option for some extra memory. If you're quoting a 21-inch monitor, add an option for a 23-inch monitor. You start thinking like this and add additional upsell opportunities to every quote you do. It's extra margin. It's extra revenue on every sale. Cross-selling is another area where I see a lot of MSPs leaving money on the table. With every hardware and most software sales, you can present your prospect with some additional products in the way of cross-selling. If you've ever purchased from the Apple Store or the online printer Vistaprint, you've seen examples of cross-selling. When you purchase a new MacBook from Apple, you get prompted for a variety of products for upselling and cross-selling. First, processors, memory, and graphic cards, all upselling questions on your order form when you buy a new MacBook. Then you're prompted if you want software. Do you want to add Final Cut Pro to that or Premiere, whatever their software products are? And then finally, would you like Apple Care maintenance on that MacBook that you just purchased? These are all examples of cross-selling. A good example of this is I see most service providers leaving out lucrative, recurring revenue service contracts and simple leasing options on many quotes. It's simply leaving money on the table. Service contracts, while they're not going to sell with every item you sell, they do sell with a lot of them and fairly easily. They're a recurring revenue model that adds to the bottom line. The only cost to you is just pushing the paper. You don't want to be like a whore when quoting your customers. But if a customer buys a product and doesn't get the full value out of it, doesn't know how to use it, or can't keep up with the changes in the software, they'll never feel good about what they bought. A good salesperson knows that suggesting the right additions to your customer's order will enhance their experience with the product. And by enhancing their experience with the product, upselling and cross-selling boost loyalty and thus overall revenue. You want clients that are consistently purchasing products and services from your company over the long term. Next, I want to talk about process. If we're talking about McDonald's and what we can learn from them, we need to talk about process. Not only was this key to their success, but it's key to our success as well. To scale your managed services business, you need to be constantly refining and improving your processes. McDonald's serves over 75 hamburgers every second of every day. They could never, ever do this without ironclad processes. In the movie The Founder, the McDonald brothers said that in their previous business, they realized they had a ton of products with very little sales and a few products with a ton of sales. They set out to build their new hamburger stand to maximize the sales of the most profitable items, and they pretty much dropped everything else. Before they built their new hamburger stand, they laid out their whole speedy system or fast food delivery system on a tennis court with chalk and people. They refined the location of every piece of equipment until the process of making burgers and fries was a finely tuned orchestra of movements. Minimal loss, minimal confusion, minimal movement, really a thing of beauty. Two things we can learn from this. The first is that you truly need to know where your revenue and profit is coming from and maximize your business around those items. It's easy to get caught up with a new shiny tool or service that we can resell, but sometimes taking your eye off the ball can have a really bad result to your business. Be especially careful when messing around with tools or services that are customer-facing. To give you an example of this, it's one thing to change your PSA tool, but quite another thing to change your antivirus or remote login tool that you extend to your end users. It's okay to look to expand your offerings, but you need to start small, prototype the changes. This is the second thing we can learn from the McDonald brothers about process. Plan and prototype before building. Talk to your team, talk to the clients. Make sure that your proposed change is really going to make a positive impact on your base and therefore on your bottom line. So to recap, if you want to grow your IT services business and really scale it, you need to think like the McDonald brothers. Provide consistently good service without any hassle. Make it easy for your clients to call, email, buy, and consume your services. Remember to capitalize on your base by upselling and cross-selling. Sell them only products that they need that will really improve their business. And lastly, put in place systems to evaluate your processes and improve them continuously for fast food-like service delivery. So that's it for episode 6 of the IT Provider Network podcast. As always, I thank you for taking time out of your day to listen to the show. I welcome your feedback. I'd love to hear from you, what you need help with, how you could get more out of the show. And if you need to refer to anything from this episode, you can find it at the show notes at theitprovidernetwork.com/6.
Thank you for joining us, and we you've been inspired. Check us out on social media via @ITProviderNet and visit us at www.itprovidernetwork.com for past episodes, show notes, videos, and more. And we hope you'll join Terry next time on the IT Provider Network.